especially for the DeFi channel. Today, we are going to break down exactly how you can navigate the wild and often wonderful world of crypto.
So let's just get right to it. For any entrepreneur, crypto looks like this massive, untapped opportunity, right? It's a whole new financial frontier. But, and this is a big but, it is also a minefield, just filled with traps for anyone who isn't paying attention. So the real question, the one we're all asking, is this: how do you grab that opportunity without getting burned? Well, that's exactly what we're going to map out for you today. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get the lay of the land, the crypto landscape. Then we'll build your security playbook, learn the language, and then only then will we start analyzing some potential assets. We'll wrap it all up with the single most important strategic takeaway. You can think of it in two parts. First, we build the fortress. That's your security, your foundation. Then, once you're safe inside, we'll start exploring the frontier. This way, you're always operating from a position of strength, not fear. Okay, before we can build that fortress, we've got to understand the ground we're building on. So let's start with the absolute basics.
At its core, this is what it's all about. Unlike the money you're used to, there's no central bank, no government pulling the strings. It just runs on its own. Now, this whole idea of decentralization, it's the source of crypto's greatest power, but it's also where the biggest risks hide. It means the power and, yep, the responsibility is all on you. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, especially for an entrepreneur. A lot of people use stablecoins like USDT or USDC because, well, they're easy, but they're issued by a company, and that means your account could be frozen. That's a huge risk. But then you have decentralized stablecoins like DAI. These are run by code, by smart contracts. Nobody can freeze your funds. It's true ownership. It is censorship-resistant money, and that is a game changer. All right, let's get into what I think is the most important section of this whole thing, your security playbook. This is where we build the fortress. Look, before you even think about making a profit, you have to know, without a shadow of a doubt, how to protect your capital. This part is absolutely non-negotiable. And I want you to forget everything you think you know about scams. We are not talking about some poorly spelled email from a foreign prince. The real threats today are slick, professional operations. They create these legit-looking channels on places like Telegram, and they're not targeting newbies. They're targeting you, the informed investor. They play the long game, earning your trust for months before they ever make a move. And here's exactly how they do it. For months, we're talking 3 to 6 months, they'll post genuinely good, high-quality analysis. They spend a ton of money on ads to build a huge trusting audience. Then, once everyone is on board, they drop the bomb, an insider token, a miracle coin that's about to go to the moon. But here's the trap. The token is built on a smart contract. That's the code that runs it, and that code is rigged. It's written specifically so you can buy the coin, but you can never, ever sell it. Let me be perfectly clear about this. You will buy the coin, you'll see the price on your screen go up and up and up, and you'll think you're a genius. But it's all fake. It's a ghost. You can't touch it. You can't sell it. Your money was gone the second you clicked buy. So, how in the world do you protect yourself? You follow these rules. No exceptions. Think of this as your basic security hygiene. First, the big ones. Never, ever give your funds to someone else to manage for you. And don't get suckered into those pump groups. Then, the practical stuff. Always double-check official links on a trusted source like CoinMarketCap. And before you buy any unknown token, use a tool like honeypot.is. It'll check the contract and tell you if it's a known trap. And now for the single most important rule in all of crypto. I gave this its own slide for a reason. Listen to me here. Your seed phrase, those 12 or 24 words, is the master key to your entire crypto kingdom. No legitimate company, no wallet, no app will ever ask you to type it into a website. If you see a prompt asking for your seed phrase, it is a scam. 100% of the time, every single time. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your financial life does. Okay, deep breath. Our fortress is built, the walls are secure. Now it's time to learn the language of this new frontier. Because to succeed here, you can't just follow what other people say. You have to have the tools to evaluate these things for yourself. You're going to see this acronym everywhere, DYOR. It stands for Do Your Own Research. And it's not just some casual advice. It's the absolute core philosophy of this entire space. It means you take ownership of your decisions. You do the homework. You investigate before you invest.
So what does doing your own research actually look like? Well, it starts with understanding these terms. The white paper, that's the business plan. You'd read a business plan before investing in a startup, right? Same thing here. The roadmap shows you their goals. Supply tells you about the economics of the token. Is it going to inflate into worthlessness? And then you've got market terms like DEX, a decentralized exchange, and FUD, which is what people spread to try and scare you into selling.
All right, now that we are secure and we speak the language, we can finally turn our gaze outwards. It's time to explore the frontier and start analyzing some assets that have real potential. First things first, not all crypto is the same. It's really helpful to think in terms of risk. You've got your low-risk assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're the blue chips. Then you have medium-risk assets, which are established projects solving real problems. And finally, high-risk assets, which are more speculative, they have huge upside, but also a lot more uncertainty. Let's look at a couple of examples. We have to start with the king, right? Bitcoin. It's the original, it's the most secure, it's basically the bedrock of the entire crypto market. And the big thing everyone's watching right now is the 2024 halving, an event that happens every 4 years and has historically kicked off major bull runs. And you don't have to take my word for it. The market is buzzing. You've got big names like Arthur Hayes targeting $70,000, Robert Kiyosaki looking at $120,000, and a major fund like Pantera Capital has a model predicting $148,000. This just shows you the level of serious, institutional optimism around Bitcoin right now. Now let's move into that medium risk category with a project called Chainlink. What's so cool about Chainlink is that it's not trying to be money. It's not trying to compete with Bitcoin. Instead, it's focused on solving a massive technical problem that every single blockchain has. And that problem is that blockchains are basically closed systems. They can't access any real-world data on their own. They have no idea what the price of gold is or if it's raining in Tokyo. That's where an oracle comes in. An oracle is like a bridge that securely feeds real-world data into a smart contract. And Chainlink, well, it's the biggest, most used oracle network in the entire world. It's essential infrastructure. Another huge player in this medium risk zone is Solana. You can think of it this way. If Ethereum is all about maximum security and decentralization, Solana is all about pure, raw speed. It's built to handle a crazy number of transactions per second for pennies, which makes it a major competitor for things like gaming and high-frequency trading. And that focus on high performance has turned some very serious heads on Wall Street. Just look at this number. The huge investment firm Van Eck put out a report modeling a potential price for Solana of over $3,000 by 2030. Now that's a long way out, but it shows you the kind of massive growth potential that serious analysts see in this thing. Okay, so we've seen the stability of Bitcoin, the growth potential of Solana, and it all leads us to this. The final and honestly the most important takeaway from all of this. After we've built our fortress and explored the frontier, what is the one big idea that an entrepreneur needs to grasp? It actually boils down to something incredibly simple, but incredibly powerful. This slide says it all. In the old world, your money is held by a bank. It's not really yours. Your account can be frozen, your transactions can be blocked. But with decentralized crypto, when you hold your own keys, you hold your money. Your assets cannot be seized, your transactions cannot be censored. For any entrepreneur, having that level of control, that level of financial sovereignty, well, that is the ultimate value proposition. That's the whole point. At the end of the day, that's what crypto is. It's a new set of tools. Powerful tools for protecting your wealth, for moving value across the globe instantly, and for building entirely new kinds of businesses. You now have the framework for how to stay safe and how to analyze the opportunities. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to build with it? That's all. Subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if you want more, all the links are in the description.